What's up, guys? Rob from Legibinders Gaming here, bringing you another Player Profiles episode. And this time I am here with Pipca, aka Sizzli.
Hello, everybody.
So they are somebody who's very, very active in the NASB scene. So I'm really excited to finally get them on the show. Uh,
Hi.
just I definitely towards the end of the show I want to get involved and talk more about some of the other stuff you do, but I'll just give you like brief kind of overview. Very good artist, very active on Twitter, hilarious with all the different memes and tweets and stuff that you put out
Thank you.
there. So but yeah, so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and then talk about your gaming background, what other scenes you've been involved in, and we'll go from there.
Well, okay. Well, my name is Pipca to most people, but in the NASB community, I'm called Sizzli to differentiate myself from my kind of my Twitter community because it's very different. But basically, I've been a huge video game fan basically all my life. I remember my first game I played was Qbert on the Dreamcast back in when I was had to be like 1 or 2 years old. My dad let me play it, and I was hooked. I've kind of been what got me in the fighting games specifically is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I played that like almost every day when I was like 7, and then I've always been big fan of cartoons too. So NASB is kind of like the perfect hybrid between the two for me because I've always watched SpongeBob. I think I've watched like nearly every SpongeBob episode in existence, but yeah, and then I've watched also, Cat Dog, I Wrote Monsters, which is also one of my favorite shows. I'm an artist. It's kind of like my main career path. I draw funny pictures on Twitter, and it gets a lot of likes, and that's kind of my life at this point in my life. I'm a college student. I also am, yeah, I'm going to college for art, um, and where I do way more detailed pieces, to be honest, but yeah, and then I just kind of post the funny stuff on Twitter, and it gets a lot of likes. But I mainly draw cartoon characters. I make funny animations sometimes. Animation is kind of like one of the things that I do the most often, but I rarely show it on the internet. Where I think I got my first start in the fighting game like kind of community with Street Fighter Alpha 2 and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I'm a big fan of traditional fighters too. I've been a Ken main basically all my life, and I didn't really focus that much on the Smash community until 20. I believe it was 2015 when Ryu got announced for Smash 4, and I started getting into like the competitive community, and yeah, ever since then I've kind of become I've kind of been the competitive plat fighter community. I used to be a Smash Ultimate coach. I would teach people how to play the game, what they can improve on, stuff like that. I did that on the Discord server, and I didn't have really good results in Smash Ultimate because I could either never play the game or I had to play online, and I'm sure you've heard horror stories of Smash Online, but yeah, yeah, but yeah, it's like, and also my character choice was bizarre. Like I played Ken and Wario, which is kind of a weird pick for most people. So it's like oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention. I'm a huge fan of Wario. I'm a huge Wario fan. Everyone on Twitter knows me as the Wario lady. So that's my yeah, that's yeah, Wario. Yeah. Yeah, I play Wario in basically every game he's in.
That
Um, yeah. So what got me into NASB? I was first of all when NASB first got announced, I popped off. I was actually so excited because the idea of a Nickelodeon fighting game. Well, okay, so I have to go back for this one. So in 2010, there was this game on Nick.com called Super Brawl 2. and that was my favorite game in the world for a while when I was in elementary school. I played that all day. I love that game. It was like it's kind of like a Street Fighter parody, but you play with like Nick characters, and it was the best thing. I believe I mained classic SpongeBob, which was Re SpongeBob. Um, and I can go find a picture of him. Classic SpongeBob, Super Brawl 2. Yeah, I'll send you an DM. Yeah, he looked like this. This is my main in that game. Yeah,
Shoto SpongeBob.
yeah, Shoto Bob. That's what I call him now. But yeah, so when they were announcing like a Nick Smash clone, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be my favorite game in the world. And when it came out, yeah, it's my favorite game in the world. So when I first started, I didn't really enter the. This is one of my biggest regrets. I didn't really enter the competitive NASB community until like January, where I got invited to the Grinders Discord, because that's also because I didn't know the competitive community existed. Like nobody told me. So it's like I played the game online. I believe week one I mained Leonardo and Oblina. I still main Oblina. But I mean Leo and Oblina, and I would body rock people every day. But like it was like nobody told me there was like a competitive community until like the 2022 kind of like just started. Maybe I don't remember. I joined around December or January. I forget, but like and I've just kind of been here ever since. I got to meet people. Everybody's very nice in the community. Everybody's super supportive. Everybody's really cool. You get the occasional drama because, like, I don't know, somebody said Reptar was bottom 5 instead of bottom 3, but who cares? It's, but yeah, and then, like, this has kind of been my main community ever since then. I still have my Twitter community, obviously. By the way, I have, at this time of writing, I have 11.2K followers on Twitter, which is a big amount. And yeah, I kind of switch between the two. And that's my backstory. That's all I have to explain so far.
Yeah, and just for reference, as with every video, Pipca's links will be in the description, so please do go check them out.
I have an entire website I made myself. It looks like it was made in 2001. I did that on purpose.
See, I actually looked at it, and it really brought me right back to like that era of
Yeah.
surfing the internet. So it's cool. I really like it. So yeah, guys, please
Yeah.
definitely check out their stuff down in the description. It's definitely worth a follow, 100%. So, and also, uh, um, just to find some really awesome content, like you were doing the those song covers, right?
Yeah, I have a SoundCloud where I make covers from weird games I like SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge and Wario Land 4. Those are my main two. But I do other ones too. Like sometimes I do Club Penguin, Elite Penguin Force. I'm a big Club Penguin fan too. I think Club Penguin was like my Club Penguin is still my favorite game, but it also kind of was because it's dead, which makes me very sad. But like it is, yeah, Club Penguin is still my favorite game. Um, but yeah, I do song covers.
Yeah, and you had posted the one that was, I think it was a Super Sponge cover of Chemical Plant Zone, and that was some fire because I love Chemical Plant
Thank you,
Zone. It's like one of my favorite video game songs ever. Period. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah,
definitely check out those links. But I do want to talk about uh, the transition from Ultimate to NASB. Ultimate being a little bit more of a somewhat slower, like more methodical game, transitioning to NASB. Did you find it like difficult at all to kind of keep up with just the sheer speed of the game at first, or was it something that you were able to handle? Because I'm not sure, how fast was Super Brawl, because I never played it. Did that make it easier? Just kind of give me your thoughts on that.
well, Super Brawl is a completely different game. Kind of, it's more of a traditional fighter. It's not a plat fighter. But I believe what Smash Ultimate did is it made it easier to kind of have like those plat fighter fundamentals, like don't roll on ledge, don't do this, don't do that, and I'm like, okay, I can carry this over because I remember week one early in the game, it was very easy to like just dash attack their people with Leo, and it was very easy to it was very easy to like catch people's landings and stuff. I remember that. But with but the game, yeah, the game is. I mean, I still have trouble keeping up with NASB sometimes, but like it is a very fast game. So a lot of the stuff was me trying to like kind of rewire my mind into like doing stuff faster. I think NASB is closer to Melee in terms of speed, which is I only like casually play Melee, so it's not like something I am big on. And the fact that you can just kind of grab people like whenever, like grabbing is a big part of NASB, but in Smash only Donkey Kong can kind of do that stuff. So it's like and I play DK a little bit in Smash, but like he's only like for fun. So it's like, it's like getting used to like a very grab heavy game was kind of odd to me. And I was also playing one of the more fundamental characters in the game at the time, which was Leo. I didn't really. It took it like until week 2 or week 3 where I really decided that Ablina was going to be like my true main, because like I love All Real Monsters, but I did rewatch it for NASB, and it's amazing. It's maybe my favorite show out of Nick's lineup. Maybe SpongeBob might replace it, but like, it's like it's up there. And so that was the other thing I was playing. Week one, first of all, week 1, week 3, Ablina was a fucking demon, but
Oh yeah.
also like, yeah, it was also, yeah, she could just do whatever. But yeah, Nasby's back in week 1 to week 3, Nasby's DI was only like 10, which means like everyone either played Cat Dog or SpongeBob. So I had to get used to those two matchups immediately. It really took a while before I found because I started on Switch. So it took a while before I found like the characters that you find more commonly nowadays, like April, Zim, Nigel, kind of. I don't think I even fought like any Nigels until like the next month. Like he was Nigel kind of took a back seat until recently, honestly. But anyway, enough about Nigel. When when I started out the game, I primarily played Leonardo, Ablina, and a little bit of SpongeBob. I played Ren and Stimpy for fun because I thought they were bad, but they're not bad at all. So I don't know what I was thinking. But um a lot of the things that I had to get used to was the game. The hitstun in NASB is weird. In Smash, like you can in Smash you can like SDI out of stuff. So DI was definitely something I had to get used to, because I had to get used to just holding stuff and not mashing out of combos. Because in Smash Ultimate, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but
No,
in
you
Smash
go
Ultimate,
for it.
I have like 100 thoughts at once. I'm like, this game is different from that game. But like, um, in Smash Ultimate, you have to mash out of a lot of combos, which makes characters like Bayo a pain in the ass to fight. Because my character, Ken doesn't have a lot of air mobility. So, well, no, it's another weird term. Air acceleration. So if you got hit in the air with like a combo, it was really tough to get out unless you either focus attacked or you got a good DI, and usually I had to SDI out of stuff. So to play Nasby in a game where like it was natively 10 DI at the time, now it's 16, I believe, which is much better. Um, and like get used to like if I lose one neutral interaction, I die. That was kind of hard to get used to, because in Smash Ultimate that doesn't really happen unless you're either fighting like Kazuya or Luigi, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, or Steve, I guess, but I haven't really fought any Steves in Ultimate. I kind of quit Ultimate before like Steve really became a menace, but like he's a huge menace nowadays. But yeah, I didn't really play when Steve was that imposing. And then there's Sora, who I don't care about. But then there's like um yeah, but it was definitely having to get used to DI, because if you were not good at DI back in like around launch day, week 1, week 2, Cat Dog would absolutely destroy you. And that's how I had to learn patience. I had to learn like the new fundamentals of this new game. And it was difficult back then because I didn't have the resources that a lot of these other players had. because I just wasn't aware of the competitive community. Like I had to learn that all myself, and it's still kind of biting me in the ass these days. But like I'm slowly learning it. So, and also it's the fact that yeah, NASB is just like so much faster. It feels much better too, but that's just my opinion. It's a much faster game. Ultimate, like whenever you get hit in Ultimate or you like whiff a move, it feels like it has so much lag before you can actually do something. Which is bizarre because and shield is pretty safe in Ultimate, but like if you whiff something and there's like so many moves that can like poke your shield in Ultimate, but in NASB block is really safe. Or like unless you grab somebody, but like I mean, you know what I mean. Like there's only two moves that I think in NASB that are like kind of death even if you block it, and that's Shredder Nair and Garfield Dare, and that's only currently. So it's like, and they're the two new guys, so yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
But
So, oh yeah, go ahead.
no, you go first. I'm done. Yeah, I smacked my lips.
I just wanted to ask because you said you mentioned that you played Ken and Wario in Ultimate, and then you started off playing Leo and Oblina, and you said you still currently play Oblina. I know you played a little bit of Gar for a little bit. Uh, did you
My
choose? Yeah.
my current character lineup is Oblina, Ren and Stimpy, and SpongeBob, and I play Mikey Net sometimes. Yeah.
Do you find that you ended up picking characters that were similar to other characters you played in other games, or how did you end up getting into the characters you chose? Like, yeah, just go through the process of how did you land on these characters?
Oblina is purely out of love for the character herself. I know that's very weird to say because it's fucking Oblina, but like it's I really do love the show and I think she's really cool. She is kind of bizarre for my playstyle because I really wasn't. I played a little bit of Samus in Ultimate, but like she's kind of like a setup character, and she's still really weird to play. Honestly, I don't really know. I did play a little bit of Pikachu in Ultimate too, and she has Pikachu's combo game, but optimally she's more like Diddy Kong. I feel like because she lays that trap projectile on the stage, and at least in pre-patch, it defined her. Like that's what she did. She laid the goop down. You got hit by the goop. She won, and that's the thing. And Diddy Kong is kind of the same in Ultimate with Banana, but until recently we found out. I didn't really know at the time that you could grab goop in the air, so I wasn't really doing that yet. But like I'm doing that now, so it's like kind of similar where you just hold banana and then you throw it at them and then you do something with it, like setup stuff. And Leo is also I really wanted to play a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character. That's really it. Um,
You picked a good one, at least for the time.
well, yeah, Mikey is still weird. Mikey was like broken back then, but for the wrong reasons.
the Nair Infinite.
Yeah, the Nair Infinite. He still has an Infinite, I think, but it's like way harder to pull off, and it's not practical. I forget what it is, but Tafar can probably do it. There's yeah, Leo at the time was the turtle I preferred the most. They still don't have my favorite turtle in the game, Rip Raff, but like whatever. Um, you know, I picked Leo because I saw I'm like, oh, he's kind of like Marth. Maybe I can learn the game with this guy. So yeah, I played it, and he is kind of similar. He's definitely more similar nowadays because he has an emphasis on tippers and stuff, and you can't like Dare is a lot more unsafe. Yeah, they really gave Leo the ban hammer. Easiest, but yeah, he's sorry, I'm a Leo pessimist, but yeah, it's like, and then I've kind of gone through a bunch of characters. Probably my favorite character in the game, even though I don't play him, is Powdered Toast Man. I think he's really fun. He's really bad right now, but I didn't even play him when he was good. I didn't play him when he had lick, like a pre-patch lick. I just think he's really funny. But he, at the same time, I don't really think his playstyle really fits mine. He He's really fun though. And I have a bunch of I literally have a Powdered Toast Man action figure sitting right next to my desk as I'm talking to you right now. Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters in the game. So I kind of chose the next best choice, and I chose Ren and Stimpy, and I have been really having fun with Ren and Stimpy. Um, I feel like a lot of people said Nigel was the most similar to Wario when the game first came out, but no, it's Rimpy because when because Rimpy has he has setups into a projectile. The log isn't very good. He has really good disjoints, but he has really good range. But he's also a big body, and oh, he also has waft. I forgot. I totally forget Ren and Stimpy's counter exists sometimes, but it's there. Really only Blazing uses it, which is kind of funny. Um, but yeah, they have a counter, but they also I don't know, like I play them. They have really good aerials, and they have really good, and they can cheese you, and you die at like 20. That's probably why I think they're the most similar to Wario. Also, they're gross, but who cares? It's Ren and Stimpy. What did you expect? Yeah, it's just that's why I picked them because they're really fun, and I've always like characters that are kind of goofy but not too easy to play. Like I like them.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's definitely good to play, characters that you enjoy playing, whether for, like you said, either for just the love of the character or they fit your play style.
I think it'd be easier to name the characters I don't like playing in NASB. Honest, like I think it only extends to like I don't like Lincoln because he's Lincoln. I don't like Lucy because I don't know, just never have vibed with her. And I don't really like Danny that much because I don't know. Danny's never really vibed with me. I don't know. He kind
Yeah.
of goes. He kind of moves all over the place. I don't know what it is about him. And then I SpongeBob is just really easy to use. He's like the Mario, so he's really easy to use and he's really fun. Um, SpongeBob's are always a good time. I always have a lot of fun when I'm playing SpongeBob. So and of course I love SpongeBob. Who doesn't love SpongeBob? So it's like I have a lot of fun with SpongeBob. Um, and then there's like characters that I don't really play anymore. I don't really play. I used to be like one of maybe three people that played Sandy competitively, but I don't anymore because she doesn't have really a lot going on. Um, and then I still play Garfield from time to time, but I don't know. There's a lot of Garfield mains now, so I don't want to. I just want to focus on my other characters because I play like I don't know. I mean, obviously like there's obviously Blazing plays Rimpy and Ablina has had like a few top player representatives over the years, but I like playing characters that don't have like a lot of representation. I don't know why that is. I don't know why. It just happens to me. I don't know why. It's just like okay. I mean, I figured nobody was gonna play Ablina because nobody knows who she is except for me. So it's like okay. But I have my friends who do. It's like she's fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember early on, Armada would be playing Oblina. He was a menace with Oblina.
Armada. Yeah, when it was interesting seeing all of the melee top players play this game, and I'm like, wow. I think that's what influenced me to really get into the game too. I watched it early sets with Fox playing like Nigel and Reptar, and it's like, oh, this is nice. Oh, this is cool. But I didn't really. I think my favorite character to watch back in those sets was it was Fatality's Powdered Toast Man. That was because I was like, oh my god, they made Powdered Toast Man Captain Falcon. This is the best game ever. And I really do like Falcon in Melee and Ultimate, but yeah, I thought the fact that they made like Powdered Toast Man like Super Shine Falcon, I was like, wow, this is actually a cool game. Cause yeah, and then the influence, I do there is some scorn in my mind for Hungrybox because he's also kind of the reason why the community has like somewhat of a negative reputation. I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Negative reputation on Twitter. trying to say two T words at once is a pain in the ass, but because of the Smash Killer thing. But like, he did also influence me in playing the game a lot more.
Yeah, and I just want to make it like glaringly obvious if you're a Smash player who's listening to this interview or listen to any of my other interviews, you can tell that so many people in the community love Smash. A lot of us play Smash.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
nobody, and I mean this with all sincerity, literally nobody who is in the NASB community was saying we're gonna kill Smash. We didn't want to. We just wanted to play funny SpongeBob game, and we still don't want to kill
yeah.
Smash. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, we're just kind of vibing. We're just doing our own thing. And we appreciate any of the support we get because a lot of people I know it's really cool when my friends from the Smash community. So, backstory. This is how it all kind of ties together. So, I got my Twitter following from kind of being in the Smash community and making Smash memes. That was where I really started, and I gained a lot of friends from there. There's also a lot of drama that people don't like me. I don't. It's Twitter drama, not worth going into. But like there's yeah, I gained like a lot of friends from the Smash community, and whenever they're like, "Oh, wow, this game is really cool. I want to play it," and I'm like, "I got you," and I give them the Steam key, and they pop off. That's when I know that this game is fucking awesome, because if I literally I have a friend. I'm not gonna name him because it's not really important, but I gave him the game, and he was so excited to play it with me because he's seen my clips and stuff, and he thought it looked really cool. And when he played it, he admitted he was having a blast. So, and that's what the best feeling is, when people just have fun with the game, because the game is like superbly fun. I think even though it's kind of like competitive based as a casual game, it's still really fun because you're beating up people with SpongeBob. Who's not to like? It's like, and you know, a lot of the people, a lot of the events that the more major events like Genesis and Hidden Temple and all that stuff, um, people really were excited to see the game like do well on my timeline. Like there was not a lot of people on the game, not a lot of people talk about the game on my timeline because it's mostly Smash oriented, and the people that do are in the Grinders Discord. They're just my friends. But like a lot of people were genuinely excited for the event. I remember Hidden Temple, and that's kind of been my goal for the game. Aside from just being really good at it, it's like just getting more people interested in the game because I think it's really cool that a lot of people are becoming more interested in it over time because of community efforts. But there's also that battle that I also kind of have to do on Twitter, where you just get some random guy that says, "Oh, well, this game nobody plays it. It's a dead game. Smash better, Smash killer, haha, funny." And we're always gonna kind of have to deal with that as a community, and that sucks. But it's kind of like convincing people that we're just a community trying to do the best we can. We love our game, and you should try it too. That's kind of just been my general thing. Like I post tier lists, I post clips, I support my friends. I post the top eights from my tournaments, which I assume we'll get into later, and yeah, that's kind of been my goal. I'm very active in the community, even though I'm not the best player. Obviously, I barely make top eight. It's like I never make top eight. What am I saying?
medius.
I yeah, I did do it once. There was only 7 people, but I did do it.
We take those.
We take those. I've been getting better. Just been kind of improving at the game and making more people aware of it. Because the game is kind of a Discord fighter, which if you don't know what that means, it's a game that not a lot of people play outside of like one Discord server, where it's just kind of like the one community. Like the Discord server is the entire community, and that's not necessarily true for NASB because there's also Reddit, which NASB Reddit is NASB Reddit. There's people in the main Nickelodeon Discord, the Nickelodeon Brawl Discord. There's there's probably all the people that play on like Switch and PS5 or PS4 or whatever. What PlayStation are we on? And
Yeah,
there's
PS5, I think.
PS5, PS4, and all the Xbox players that probably don't even know that the competitive community exists to play the game anyway. And it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder like what the future of the game has, because the devs are really cool too. Like they listen, they know. They've been introduced. They gave us two new characters for free, one of which is Garfield. Freaking Garfield. I think Garfield is one of the coolest things to ever happen to the game. I think he's just really fun. Like he is like his stage is really cool. He's really cool. He's like he kind of looks like the 80s design. It's like I'm a big Garfield fan too, so it's like, oh yes, Garfield, give me it. Yes, Garfield. Um I think I think Garfield was the most exciting thing in terms of new game news. Shredder was pretty cool too. I was really excited for Shredder. But yeah, Garfield was definitely my favorite new character so far, and they're adding more. I think. Like we're getting DLC down the line. I don't know what they're doing. I think the newest thing is like the patch. People are talking about like there's going to be a patch by the end of this month or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they were saying that the post Genesis patch is going to change a lot about the game. Chip damage on shield, so if you don't gray shield, you're
Yeah.
still going to take half percent. I think yellow shield, you take a 25%, and if you parry, you don't take any percent. And then
Mm.
momentum cancels also going to be gone, which is going to be a huge change because a lot of people,
Yeah.
like myself included, are going to have to get used to not just spamming air dash when you get blasted.
Everybody is gonna have to get used to that. Like the DD is gonna have to get used to that. Like the random guy in matchmaking is gonna have to get used to that. Like everybody's gonna have to get used to that. I'm gonna have to get used to that. Because I've been trying it, but it's so good in this patch that you do it on instinct. Like you just like, oh, boop,
Air
okay, there
dash, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
done. Also, I play Ren and Stimpy, so I kind of have to do it. But it's like because he's big. Stimpy's huge. Like he's, but like yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing what they do. People have been saying that there's an emphasis on horizontal kill moves, which is neat because Ren and Stimpy have Dare, and that's like really good. Like that's a really good horizontal kill move. So I'm thinking, I'm like, if they get you off stage in the next patch and they just leave you there, what are you gonna do? Because like you could just die. There's no momentum canceling, so you're gonna just die. And I was like, but yeah. So that's kind of been my journey so far. Aside from the tournament thing, which, yeah. I really wanted to get into Hidden Temple this year, but it was probably one of the most devastating things in my life. I was in fourth. I was going to make it, but I got knocked out because like, and I still love these guys. I'm glad they got in, but I got the guys behind me, like just behind me, got vote bombed, and I didn't get in, and I was really devastated for like 2 days. But this it ended up being good because my friend Risotto, who is the one of the managers of Apple Esports, he signed me up, and I am the very first NASB player for Apple Esports, and I'm kind of just like the NASB girl for everything. Tusku's there too, but he's just a player. I'm the manager I organize the events. I do the I kind of keep them in like I'm kind of like their reporter. That's what I do. And I also play the game, so it's like
Yeah, I did.
I kind of I'm a do it. I'm a full package. That's what.
Yeah, I definitely did want to talk about that because you were talking about just kind of being a beacon, you could say for the game, and you were one of the first people to get sponsored by anything, which I remember we were all kind of like popping off in in the server when you had told us that. So
Yeah,
first of all, obviously congratulations for that,
thank you.
and second of all, I just give me your like initial reaction to having that conversation when you get approached and saying like, oh hey, we want to kind of bring you on to this esports team to kind of represent us.
It was it went by so fast. It went like it. You don't think about it when you're in it, but it went by really fast. They basically asked me, "Hey, do you want to be on our team?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Absolutely." And so now I'm on the team. They invite me to the server, and yeah, I'm just kind of on an esports team. And they asked me for like a reference for my character because I don't really like showing my. I mean, I do show my face online if you're on my Twitter, but like I don't like really sharing video of myself. So I just use a picture of my Sona, which you can see right now. And they made me a banner, and I'm on the team. And then they kind of gave me like a rundown of like the benefits and stuff. Like I'm gonna get a jersey sometime soon before Combo Breaker, which is an event. If you don't know, if you're watching this and you don't know what that is, it's an event that's happening Memorial Day weekend. It's like a huge fighting game event, primarily Killer Instinct, but they're gonna have NASB this year, so me and a bunch of my NASB pals are going, and yeah, that's Combo Breaker. But I'm gonna get a jersey for the team, um, and I also get benefits like they pay for my venue for some events. They support me on Twitter. As long as I'm like active on the team, they do a bunch of stuff for me. There's a bunch of perks, and they're a really great team, really great guys. They know what they're doing. Great team.
Yeah. So talk to me about because I know that you do compete, and then you also do a lot of TOing. And like I mentioned at the top, you're the first person who's really been involved in TOing for the game. So I guess just talk to me about some of the tournaments that you've run. Like I have, you've run things like Pineapple Tuesdays, I Hate Mondays, Sizzli Saturdays, I Lose Tuesdays. So just talk to me about the process of getting into TOing in the first place, and then kind of how that's evolved for you over time.
I've organized small events for Smash over time, but nothing on a grand scale what I do for NASB. I think what inspired me the most to do NASB events is Pride. Pride runs PX East and West every Monday, and I Hate Mondays is actually a fill-in for that when he's not here. But the idea was basically at the time I was thinking like, well, they have NASB weeklies for Monday and Wednesday at the time. We didn't really have like crew battles every week at the time, so excuse me, hang on. I just ate some food. Um, there's we had Wumbo Wednesday at the time, and then we had Royal Fumbo. So I'm thinking, what if we had like a weekly like every day, so like anyone could play? And that's what I'm thinking. Well, I'm like Tuesday, and Tuesday is free, so I decide I'll just do a Tuesday. I'll just do a Tuesday weekly every Tuesday because it was the easiest one to do with my class schedule. If you don't know, I'm super busy like all the time, with work and class and all of these things. So, and it kind of detriments anything I'm doing in the community, but I make do with what I have. So Tuesday was the easiest day to do that because I didn't, there wasn't already a weekly that day. There wasn't anything going on that day in the community, and I only had class until like 7, so I can make it work. So I decided I'll make a Tuesday tourney, and I decided to call it I Lose Tuesdays, not because I lose every tourney, but I used to make first at locals though. I was really good week 1, but yeah, it's based off this scene in SpongeBob where it's just this nonsensical game SpongeBob and Patrick are playing. And Patrick runs into like a reef and he goes, I lose! But it's not Tuesday, Patrick. Tartar sauce. And I'm thinking, yeah, he loses because it's not Tuesday. But it's Tuesday, so he loses. So I'm like, okay, I can make this Nick themed. So I had everything ready to go. And yeah, that's basically what I did. I think the first tourney I actually did was I Hate Mondays. It was super easy to name because it was on Monday and Garfield hates Mondays. So that was how I did it. But originally I was actually going to go through with it and have Garfield banned because I thought it would be funny, but I realized that wouldn't be really like competitive integral, so I just made it a joke. some people took it seriously. I'm like, okay, never mind. You can play as Garfield. And 12 star got third in that tournament. I'm like, dang, I really should have banned Garfield. But anyway, like, um, yeah. So I Hate Mondays originally served as a stand-in. It still is a stand-in for PX because sometimes practice isn't here to run it. And because he has something going on. I believe last time, which was I Hate Mondays Resurrection, which was this week actually. He was just really tired from Genesis, which I totally get. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I've commentated PX before. I've just kind of like I've come in and I just commentate the game. I haven't really done it recently because I've been busy, but that's when I really got the idea. I'm like, hey, what if I did this? What if I organized the tournaments too? And then I just kind of went through with it because I was like, I want to do this more. So I started the Tuesday one. I lose Tuesdays. And then because people were saying, there were a lot of people that didn't, I don't know why I started the Saturday one. I believe it was initially because a lot of people weren't like a fan of Royal Fumble. There's a lot of like internal stigma in the community between, I believe the community and Fumbling, because not that she did anything bad, because she like quit the game and then complained about it or something. I don't know. I heard something about that, but like, a lot of people didn't like how Royal Fumble was set up. A lot of people had complaints with the TO, so I decided, okay, well, if I do a Saturday one that's just run in-house by me. So, and my Saturday one is also an opportunity to experiment with rule sets because at this time in the community, for anyone that's outside, there's been a big debate on whether to legalize Sewer Slam. Sewer Slam is a stage in the game. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stage. It's kind of like Smashville, but the platform doesn't move. And it's a lot smaller. But the reason people don't want it is because there's a big blob of goo that just floats across the stage, and it makes you go like you can't control it. And it's kind of like Wispy Woods from Dreamland and Smash, where you just kind of like you get pushed, and there's nothing you can really do. I know Dreamland is legal in Melee. I think I don't remember.
Yes.
But it is okay. Yeah, I've seen it before. I know it is, but like, yeah, it's basically like that. And also the blast zones are really close. I've killed people with Ren and Snippy at 20 on that stage consistently. You shouldn't be able to do that, but you can.
That top blast zone, yeah, it's very small.
The top blast zone is very high, is very low. So it's been in contention. I think the biggest sewer support is Velik.
Yes, I had Valak on last episode, so if he was telling me all about the sewer slam.
Yeah, Valak is the sewers guy. Valak is the sewers guy. But yeah, Valak guilted me into it's like he said to me, eventually sewers is going to be legal, and you're going to go out of your way to make sewers not legal. I'm like, okay, I'll run it on the Monday turning. And then I was like, I got so guilted into doing this. I don't think anyone even ran it on sewers because Smash GG is set up. I hate Smash GG, by the way. It's what I use for every tourney, but I hate the website. It's so hard to use. Something always goes wrong. Like it forgets my rule set, and it's like, oh, you wanted winners top 8 to be best of 5. Well, how about winners top 16 is also best of 5? I just doing that. Like, I didn't do that. I didn't set it up to do that. It just did it because it felt like it. I'm like, oh my god. And like this is the TO curse. It's like, why is top 16 best of 5? I'm like, what? And I look, I'm like, oh my god, it's not supposed to be. So it's so crazy. But yeah, Sewers is also not on the Smash GG rule list, so you have to gentleman to it. So it's like tough. But yeah. So, Sizzli Saturday is an opportunity to use those kind of crazy rule sets, like Hazards Off is also a big one, which it makes... what are stages? Cemetery, Ghost Zone. There's another one I'm forgetting. Sewers. Yeah, Sewers. Duh. There's another one I'm forgetting. I believe there's another one. But, yeah. Honestly, if you ask me, I really wish somebody made a mod that is just Technodrome. but it's literally only the top platform because that's just sewers.
Yeah.
But the blast zone is like it looks cooler. Like there's a technodrome in the background, and there's like and it's a little bit wider. So if somebody made like a mod of that stage where it was, I mean, that would just be never mind. That's just rooftop, but like you know what I mean. Like I was like, never mind. That's just rooftop, but you know what I mean. Every time I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, this would really be cool if the blast. Wait, that's just rooftop. Wow, this would really be cool. Yeah. And rooftop is also really weird right now because they bugged up the slants. Like there's stuff you shouldn't be able to do, but because they bugged up the slants in this patch, it just doesn't work. Um, yeah, a lot of my more experimental tourneys are on Saturday because I don't really give a big prize pool if I even give one at all. Sometimes it's just for fun. Usually I give them like a $5 consolation prize if you joined. Um, I've been thinking of running a Switch bracket on that day too because Switch players don't really get a lot of. I believe the only weekly Switch players get a week is Thirsty Thursday and Royal Fumble, and that's the only two Switch brackets we get. So I really want to give them more of an opportunity to play because they're kind of like their own community too. There's an entire Switch Grinders server, so I'm like, interesting. And there's this guy that DMs me like, "Hey, are you gonna play in Royal Fumble? It'd be really cool to have you." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm busy." And it's like I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been reading to like give the Switch players more of like more free reign because I feel like they're a very unspoken part of the community as well. Like I really want to give them a chance.
Yes.
If you yeah, if you don't play on PC, you kind of get shafted right now because there's no crossplay. But
Hopefully
yeah,
crossplay soon.
yeah, maybe. I mean, that crossplay also comes with its own issues. Like I'm not
Oh
sure how
yeah.
they're gonna make that work. I don't even know if they're gonna have Switch crossplay because Switch NASB is interesting. I will give it that. Interesting. Have you ever wanted to play NASB with Smash Ultimate lag in on rooftop against the Danny Phantom that only does the juggle combo? I don't.
No, no.
Oh, but I have because someone asked me, "Hey, you want to play Switch?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, this will be fun." And then the guy name's Danny, and I'm like, "Oh no, I won't be able to get out of anything."
So one of the questions I wanted to ask you about TOing is, uh, as you know, as a player, adjusting to the new meta and stuff that comes out, you're kind of forced to do that because if you want to compete and you want to stay competitive, you have to adjust to the way that things are. Is it different maybe from like a TO perspective when like next patch we're gonna have certain things that change? How do you find that you need to react to changes in the meta as a TO in terms of like maybe rule sets or maybe trying to change things up a little bit? Like, how is that something that comes across your mind at all, or?
It absolutely every time. If something comes up in the community where usually my rule is if there is enough of a community input, yeah. If there's enough of a community input that this is a universally accepted decision, I will include that in my rule set. But usually in the meta that doesn't happen with stages. I mean, it doesn't happen with characters because I don't think there's any aside from like pre-patch Mikey, which was the Infinite. There's never been a need for me to like ban any characters because recently it's been pretty okay. There has been a bit of a. I do have to kind of address it when there's a stigma around when there's a player that comes up and is complaining about another player because of the character to play. Okay, so it wasn't direct, but there was this one time, I won't give names out obviously, but there was this one time where there was this guy that was complaining about Bracket tonight because he had to fight Zim. And he really doesn't like fighting Zim. I don't not a lot of people in the community don't like fighting Zim. He's kind of crazy at this point in the patch. I really don't have to address that unless they are going after the player directly. Because then it becomes like a dispute and I have to say, hey, You can't do that. I had to ban that guy from the tournament the week after because that's inappropriate behavior.
Right.
Not very sportsmanlike. But aside from that, it only really comes down to stages. Stages are really really difficult to handle as a TO in NASB because you have to account for like everybody. So back to it always goes back to sewers. Um, there are still a lot of people in the community that don't like sewers and think it shouldn't be legal. And they're vocal about it too. But the few tourneys where I have run, and Pride has run tourneys with sewer legal too. I think PX does sewers by default now. Um, there are still a lot of people that are against sewers being legal. I mean, it's only a counterpick, but it's still not liked enough. Like I remember there was this clip I posted. I addressed before. Killing someone with Ren and Stimpy at 20. I actually did that in game. It was on quick play. It wasn't in bracket, but yeah, and that caused a lot of turmoil within the community because it's like, oh my god. And from someone that comes from Smash Twitter, where those kind of things would happen like all the time, like okay, so there are this Smash Twitter is some of the most whiny people I've ever met, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's just objectively true. There, if they see you doing anything that looks remotely broken, they will complain about it and will call for a ban on it. Okay, so I believe the big thing right now is Kazuya because he has the big he has electric and God Fist. And if he touches you, he basically kills you. And it's like people are like, "Oh, ban this character." It's like, no, he's too slow. No, blah blah blah. The same thing happened with sewers and NASB. It's like, okay, well, the stage is like people are like, well, the stage is good enough, blah's not a big idea, and if you get killed off the ceiling at like 20, just get good. But like people were like, no, the ceiling kills you at 20. No, the blast ones are too. It's like WarioWare. It's like, no, and you kind of have to be neutral in a situation where it's impossible to be neutral. Like you have to make a decision. And it's like, and so my decision was to not have sewers because at the time it was like, it's not like really, it still was really like a hot debate. But I've been more lenient towards sewers over time because it's been more accepted. So it's like, okay, you guys can have sewers. So it's like, I still don't like sewers personally, but I will let people play on it because why not? And then there's the hazards off thing, which hazards off is like hell to implement as a TO right now because there's no official hazards off mode in NASB. There is in Smash, but there is not in NASB. So it's a mod that you need for PC, and I can't count on every single player to have this hazards off mod. Like maybe I can make it like send proof that you have it, but like how do I do that?
Right.
It's like it's like how do I do that? And that's the thing for me. It's like how do I implement this in a way that will make sense for everybody? Because I don't think some people. I mean, most PC players play with mods on. I play with mods on, but like there's also the issue of not all of the hazards off stages still have the background on. And some people run low-end computers like me. So if they go into bracket with the hazards off mod, but not diet NASB, which they might also need, it's going to run like a potato. And then I have to call in for a lag test, and I run it on Jelly, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. And it's like, but we were really laggy on Ghost Zone. And I'm like, what do I do about that? Because then I have to stall the set so this guy can download this mod. I mean, I'm not really sure if there's I'm sure if they're making a new one, but there are like so small lines of code that you can add to make a. I know 12 Star and I believe Quote 2 have made code disabled backgrounds on those hazards off stages, but I can't count on everybody to have that because. Right now, Diet NASB only covers, like, the V2 pack only covers the legal stages. So, it's a matter of like, okay, I can try this, but I'm implementing it is going to be very, very hard because not everybody is going to be prepared for this. And so it's like it's kind of like I have to wait until developments in the community happen before I implement this, which is the same thing I did for sewers. I waited until the community was calm enough to where it was widely considered okay. This is fine. We can do this, and then I will probably do the same thing with Hazard Off if they find out a way to make it work. Because that's another thing about Hazards Off. You can't really implement that at like an offline major. You can't do that because, like, first of all, obviously, a lot of offline majors don't even have mods, but you can't, let alone like until there's like an official Hazards Off mode that they implement. I can't really see that happening unless I run like Sizzli Saturday, which has a Hazards Off mode for the players that want it. So that's how I handle those kind of things. I wait until there's like a clear answer, and then I take care of it.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's a good approach to just keeping everything kind of
Yeah,
as
like
even as possible.
because as a TO, I constantly have to be damage control, like all the time.
Yeah, certainly. So, the last question I'm going to ask you here before I open the floor to you at the end here is what are your hopes for the community in terms of like maybe a gameplay? Is there a certain character you might want to see added in the future, something like that? And then in terms of community, maybe any specific tournaments you might want to see or styles you might want to see run, stuff like that. So, just your hopes for the game going forward.
Well, the first thing I hope for the most is I really hope that they give some more love to like the low. I think there are a lot of characters right now that don't get a lot of love. One of them being Cora. I don't really see a lot of people talk about Cora. She's kind of there. Um, you know, I really would like them to see like them rework Cora, like maybe rebalance Cora so she's a better character. I really want them to. I mean, they've been mostly focusing on the top half of the cast. Like we've seen buffs and nerfs to April. April hasn't really gotten buffed, but like nerfed. We've seen Zim get tremendously buffed. We've seen Paratoast Man go from top 2 to mid tier in like an instant. And they kind of nerf Shredder, but he's still top 4. Um, and like there's just a lot of characters in the game that I feel like are kind of just forgotten about, like Reptar. Like nobody really talks about Reptar aside from playing with Metal Arms. It's like he's kind of there. Reptar just kind of sits there, and I really want them to see I'm not sure what exactly I would want with Reptar. Maybe like maybe give him like quicker attacks in exchange for maybe down B not doing as much damage. I don't know, but like I really am like more left to like Reptar, Toph, now I got maybe Cat Dog's not really bad though. I think like I don't know. I just kind of want to see more developments with these characters that don't really get a lot of love from the devs or the community. Like I don't know. There's a few Reptar players, there's a few Korra players, and Sanji got top 9 with Toph, which is an amazing achievement. But I really want to see these like lower tier characters get more love because a lot of the roster of NASB is really really well balanced. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that. Like the reason the top tiers in this game are top tiers because they have this like one ridiculously busted move, and the rest of their kit is also really good. So if you take that away from them, then they're still pretty good, but like it's not over reliant. And there's some exceptions like Power Toast Man. Like obviously once they removed Lick, um, he really fell off. I mean they also nerfed like a few other things about him, thing like Upstrong, but nobody really uses PTM Upstrong. I use it by accident, but um, and then there's like Zim, who like I believe Zim started as like a low tier in the early meta, and then he's slowly made his way back up to the top. And then there's Nigel, who is just Nigel is a super weird case because he is like he has been really good for most of the game's lifetime. But since this patch, where they basically nerfed everybody's dare and like you can't really there's obviously no RTC anymore. There's like no double dare aside from a few characters. Danny, there's no there's a uh April can still do double dare too. I think there's like no. It's like a generally a very slow game. Well, much slower game now. Nigel's kind of benefited from those universal changes where he can just kind of do up air like all day, and you can't do anything about it because it comes out so fast. And it's like, well, if they made his up air a little bit less busted, then he would still be really good. But he still has flick and stuff. But I believe I just want to see some more of the top tiers like get rebalanced to where they're not like stupid. They're not bad, but they're not like busted. And I'm really pleased with the idea that they're nerfing April Strong Dare next patch because that move is whoa. Like
It's crazy.
yeah, but DD comboed stare into stare and it did 80. I'm like, how? I'm like, who allowed this? I don't. It's but yeah, it's just those kind of characters that are just like that don't get a lot of love. Toph is kind of a weird case. I don't think you could like make. I hate saying it. I don't think you can make Toph good because she has little Max syndrome. You can't. She is bad by design. Like you can't make her good. Like it's sad, but it's the truth. Like I do think it would be nice if they gave I do think it would be nice if they gave Sandy Sandy something. I don't know. Like Sandy is already not that bad. She's just bad compared to the rest of the cast. Um, like if like April and like if April and Zen didn't exist, I think Sandy would be like still really good. She just doesn't really have a lot going for her right now. She's very linear. And his characters I think could use a few nerfs still, like Shredder. I I don't know. The fact that Shredder Nair is like plus on block, like it's plus 0, but still, it's the fact that like it's eventually plus on block and it does like a crazy multi hit, it does a lot of damage and it's this crazy move. I like the idea that Shredder's like kind of a boss character you can play as, but he's still really weird. I don't know. I really like Shredder too, though. It's so strange. I guess the best way I can describe it is um, what they did with Garfield. Okay, so you remember Garfield last patch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a low tier. And like what they did basically is they made his dare a lot better and they just made very minimal changes to him in my opinion, but the fact that he benefited from those universal changes makes him a much better character and I really like to see that. Like don't change them too much, but just make them a little bit different so that they're rebalanced and really nice. Because a lot of people consider Garfield to be like high tier now, like he's really good now. And there's so many more Garfield players because it caters interest. Like you get a lot more players because wow, Garfield's actually really good now. And that's the reason. That's the reason I didn't really play Garfield up until that one week where I really said I'm like, wow, I really want to play Garfield because he was low tier at the time, and I just wasn't interested. And I was so bad with him that I couldn't like. Um, in terms of like the characters I do play, I really would want to see Ablina get buffed. And a lot of people are gonna get mad at me for saying that because like, oh, she's fine. It's like, but like what I really want them to see, what I really want them to buff is up air strong because that move is, for what it's worth, the range is really good, and if you do like an up air, up strong, it usually connects like right away. But my main problem with it is it doesn't kill until like 110, maybe 100 on lighter characters. And I feel like it's kind of unfair in a game where Nigel can literally do up air, 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 flick, and then you're dead at 70. And I'm like, okay, so please, please give her something. And like, they made Goop like really like Goop is still good. It has good aspects and it has bad aspects, but it's not as good as it used to be. So I really want them to like give her like insurance, like, maybe buff her strongs to be a little bit more strong. Maybe maybe make her light spare. I don't know. Give her something because they kind of nerfed her and they kind of left her at that, and I don't know. I do think Leo should get buffed too, but not too much. I think the weird thing with Leo is that his basically the move that made him so good is like super unsafe now, and it's like worst move aside from the whatchamacallit, the uppy, the up special. It's so weird because the B button is strong in this game. It's so weird, but yeah. So yeah, basically, I would want to see Leo get buffed a little bit, but not too much. I feel like once the game is like kind of rebalanced, where the top tiers right now aren't as good, you'll see a lot more characters come out of the woodwork. Like I think Mikey would do really good right now if he didn't have to fight like April and Nigel, who are like top one and top three. So it's like he gets shit on by the top tiers, but he's really good against the lower half of the cast. It's so weird how it works. Like I feel like a lot of the mid tiers would be a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, and that's obviously discussions I have every day with people in meta, and people have their own differing opinions. Like some people tell me, "Oh, well, Abelina, she's not that bad." Like some people still think she's high tier. I'm like, but like it's
Yeah.
it's like it's just everybody's gonna have their own opinion, and that's just mine. So there are people who would disagree on me on that. I think there are just characters in the game, honestly, that could just use more representation because they're so fucking cool. And my main textbook case for that is Helga. She is so cool, but nobody plays her except like Black Amara, Hey Victor, and there's another guy I'm forgetting.
Crumpton.
Yeah, Crumpton. Crumpton plays Helga too. But like Helga only has like 3 players, and she's so cool. Like I don't. She's the coolest character in the game. Like I don't understand. And SpongeBob doesn't have a lot of players either. Like there's Lily, there's Tootle, there's King Cam. Well, King Cam plays April now.
Mirror Man.
Yeah, Mirror Man. I don't. Yeah, I kind of forget Mirror Man exists sometimes. He's really cool. It's just like he doesn't really talk in the community that much. So it's like, oh, hello.
Yeah. He plays
And
in a
it's
lot
like,
of like offline stuff more than online, I think.
yeah, he's just not like, yeah.
He's
So
like
it's like,
Thunder's Reign in that regard.
yeah, he's like Thunder's Reign. But yeah, Mirror Man also plays SpongeBob. And there are a few there. SpongeBob was a really popular pick at Genesis with a lot of people that joined for it casually. But yeah, SpongeBob doesn't have a ton of like SpongeBob is kind of like a rare character to see in brackets sometimes, which I'm trying to change, but nonetheless. And you go to Ren and Stimpy, and it's just like me, Kale, who I think switched to Mikey, and there's Blazing, who's obviously the best Shrimpy, but like so it's like a lot of these characters I really hope get more representation in the future, and that's only going to change once we get more people in the community. Because there are definitely some people that I feel like have more of a community presence over time, like Gracie. Gracie's I haven't seen like Gracie showed up and she just started doing really well, and like she made top 8 like 3 times last week. She's actually really good at the game. Um, but yeah, I remember Gracie's not new, but she's been here. She's been more vocal in the community, and that's what I really like to see. I like to see a lot of people that like haven't really like are new or like haven't really shown up. Like they just show up. I mean, like there's like a ton of people that have shown up over time, including me technically, because I joined the competitive community in like our late 2021, early 2022. So I'm technically not that. I'm not like an expert too, but like
Yeah.
it's like it's always cool. Like I'm obviously like you know a respected member of the community and stuff. So it's like it's really interesting to see people like come and go, and like to see like people like oh, I know him. Hi, how you doing? It's like it's like seeing people in like all spring because everybody in the community is like really cool, and that's the thing That's the thing. I think that is the best thing for switching over from Smash to NASB. The Smash community was, interesting. Obviously, if you're around, and I met a lot of friends from it. If you were around, from 2020 to like 2021, you know what I be. You know what I mean. There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of arguing, and I feel like for what's worth, the NASB community is like way more chill. Like everybody is cool. Like I don't think I have a problem with like literally anybody in the community. They're all really cool. So it's like that's a cool thing. And like having all these people who feel the same way about me is like super cool. Cause I don't know. It's like it feels like everybody just is like friends with each other. Even if they don't know each other that well, they're still friends with each other. And that's really cool.
Yeah, I think
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, definitely the chillest community that I've ever
Mm-hmm.
been a part of.
Yeah.
So just at the end here, I just want to kind of give you the end here. Just if there's anybody you want to give a shout out to, anything you want to plug, anything like that. Yeah, this lasts like 10, 15 minutes or so. If you want to just shout out anybody, the floor is yours.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for having me. This has been an amazing time. I've never really done like an interview before. It's having jobs obviously, so it's like it's very interesting like hearing you know hearing myself talk. Obviously, shout out to my loved ones. Rita, Sarah, all of you guys. I love you. There's obviously everybody in the community is so cool, and I love you guys. You guys are all awesome. Uh, you know, there's so many people I can name. Laudum, Tessie, Pug, Lunch. There's too many of you guys. I can't name you all. There's too many of you guys. Mario Stare. You guys are all really cool. Blazing. G4, whatever he calls himself these days.
Go forth.
Yeah, G4, Gloop Man. There's so many of you guys. Toast. I could really name everybody in the community if I could, but I can't. So it's like you guys are all awesome. Everybody that attends my tournaments are awesome. You guys are really. I'm so proud of to have like an active tournament circuit going. It's really cool. Shout out to my guys at Apple Esports, Andrew, Brian. You guys are awesome. You guys are really awesome. Thank you for this opportunity. I really love my team. You guys are great. Great team. Super supportive of the game despite it not getting the biggest reputation outside of here. It's really cool guys. I think if I wasn't on the esports team, I don't think I would be able to do this kind of stuff. Like it's the support has been super incredible. Obviously thank you to all my Twitter followers. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, it's NES cartridges, no spaces. That is, you've probably seen me on Instagram. People steal my tweets all the time. But um, yeah, I am very active on Twitter. So you can follow there if you'd like. I ramble all day. I talk about Wario and shit I like. So it's like if I have my own site. It'll be in the description, I imagine. So
Yeah.
you can just
Yep.
check out me and learn more about me personally. I haven't even gone into like all the things I could talk about myself. I don't really like talking about myself. I'm kind of it's kind of weird, but like 'cause I don't think I'm that interesting. But like um, it's really cool to like talk with somebody about like this experience. NASB has been an incredible experience for me, and it's only going to get better from here. Um, Recently, I had probably the biggest count of players at any tournament I've ever hosted, and for NASB, and it was really cool. And this is a double shout out to Mario for giving me $65 to work with on Monday because originally that tournament was only giving me 35, but he threw in 65 just out of the goodness of his heart. So I had an $100 tournament on both Monday and Tuesday, and that was super cool for like a NASB tournament. Um, Obviously, shout out to all the guys that are supporting of me in the community in general. Just you guys are always there for me. All of you guys are always there for me. You guys always listen to me. You guys always treat me with respect, which I really love. I don't feel like I'm an outspoken voice. I feel like I always have a voice in this community. and that is always the best thing. And of course, Rob, thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I'm really really glad that we ended up doing this because you were definitely on my radar when I started this series that I knew I wanted to get
Oh,
you on
thank
at
you.
some point. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I think you said it best. Just if you guys are interested in NASB at all, you can check out the myriad of different ways you can get involved. Pipca on her Twitter always is posting stuff about NASB. You can check out some of the links in the description and
I
some of my videos. Yeah, go ahead.
I do raffles every few months or day. I do raffles every few weeks for the game. So if you'd like to, if we're not close and you just like to have the game, maybe enter my raffle. Maybe you can get it for completely free. And I also have between me and Sanji, I have like an abundant. That's another guy. Shout out to Sanji. He basically fixed the game's netcode. Sanji is awesome. He has like an abundance of Steam keys. So if you just want the game, just DM me and I can probably hit you up with something. Obviously introduce yourself if I don't know you good, but um, I can probably get you the game in some way. It's super fun, super worth it. Not many people give it a try, but I am trying to get so many people to try because it's so fun. Please play this game. Please play NASB. I will say that until I die. It, ha-
Yeah,
it has powdered fucking toast, man. What is not to love?
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're like thinking about getting involved at all, please just reach out to
Yeah.
Pipca, or you can check out some of the videos that I have in my channel. We'll get you a link to the
Hmm.
Grinders Discord. We'll get you involved, and yeah. So also, like I said, all of Pipca's links they will be in the description. Go check her out. She does awesome work,
Thank you.
not just with NASB, just with being just an awesome person in general, just being really
Thank
funny,
you. I
and
draw pictures. I make memes. I do a lot of things. So yeah.
absolutely banging music as well. Uh,
Thank you.
so definitely check them out. Check all their stuff out in the description. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. So
Awesome.
I want to thank you for being here, and
Oh, no problem.
thank you
Yeah.
for watching, whoever's watching, and
Thank you.
yeah, just be on the lookout for more NASB content in the future. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again next time.
Bye bye.